All right, welcome back to week 1 of brackets in the Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament. This is the big show, the gold brackets. A couple of fan favorites here today, fredAKAderf and Laoria of Light. I am JohntheBranch. It's my first day. I'm your boy rocking it up the lower bracket there in Fighter Sword. And with me is McMonkey on co-coms. And nothing special's happened to you this week, right, McMonkey?
Oh, nothing at all. You know, maybe a first round playoff matchup. It went well, I would say. But we're here to focus on Laoria and Fred. I think we've got a really good matchup. Two really good runners here. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, we have Laoria of Light, or as only I like to call her, LOL, with her mentor today, DoctorBobtastic, who you might have heard on every Restream channel ever. And why don't you introduce Fred, because I don't know Fred very well.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to the community, so I don't know anybody very well, but the number 3 seed in the Gold Sword bracket, fredAKAderf, he's been having a very good run through the tournament, mentored today by jmeasher.
All right, and as soon as the runners are, I believe they're both ready, so we're going to see them start here just about at any second. Oh, yeah, they're getting ready to go. This is, let's see, single elimination, 1 round. So whoever loses this race, this is definitely for our enjoyment as the audience, not for theirs. This is going to be super stressful because it's 1 loss and you're out of the tournament until week 3.
Yeah, pressure's on for sure. And want to give a welcome to Twitch chat. Please give us your worst wishes for this seed, and no matter what happens and how these guys perform, please clap.
This is an open mode. We've already got the tiniest of divergences with Fred going Uncle and Laoria skipping Uncle.
Yeah, this is one of those polarizing topics in Rando. It seems that the people who don't like Uncle Route really don't like Uncle Route, and then you have the people who are right.
Yeah, it's definitely always a toss-up, especially if you're looking for bombs. But that's not going to be a hard time for Laoria or either runner on this seed. There are just bombs everywhere. Tier 1 tree pole, bush crabs, they're just all over the place.
Yeah, that's a nice site on your way to the village to pick up some bombs, not have to worry about farming money, farming bombs, saving and quitting down to South Shore, any of that.
All right, and then I missed Lumberjack. Can somebody tell me what Lumberjack was? Somebody in chat.
It was a bow on Lumberjack.
All right. Well, we are very likely to be seeing our buddy Aga. So settle in. I hope you have a snack and a snack and a drink. And a flute.
And a flute in the Lost Woods. That'll at least make getting around a little easier. That's a small salve on the Aga 1 wound.
At least we know we can get around.
Now, Fred, interestingly, going right in to the escape with 8 bombs. Not at all afraid of a bomb escape, it seems.
Nah, you shouldn't be, especially next week when we're going into standard. If you're at this point in the tournament and if you're not confident on a bomb escape, get confident because you got to do it next week.
That's right. We've got standard seeds next week, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, next week is all standard for all 1 match. It's going to be the last match with a mentor in it, and then everyone's got to fly solo. Of course, we'll be down to about a quarter of the people who started this tournament at that point. Oh, and we have Boots in Kakariko. Wow, that Uncle Skip is starting to look good right now. We'll have to see what's in the front of Escape.
Blind's hut is loaded with also having the glove and the flippers.
Blind has had a lot of hobbies in her life, including sword fighting, it appears.
Well, I think the primary hobby is stealing things from other people. So, I don't know if we can assume that Blind is the one using the boots and the glove and the flippers. We just know that they like to pick up clothes from other people.
All right. Speaking of clothes from other people, Fred is using the guard avatar as who pointed it out in our chat. You know what? I won't say who pointed it out in our chat. That is because he likes to sneak around. Oh wait, no. I'm reading here. He told us why he uses it. He's the one guard that didn't get placed under Aghanim's mind control.
That's right. He's created his own little side story for Rando.
And then we also found, while we were chit-chatting, we found gloves and Cane of Burna. And Ether. This is definitely a stack of Rico.
Yeah, and meanwhile, that escape for Fred on the left there, not really paying off. Nothing of note in escape for him.
No, Walther. That is a standard Hylian guard. If you misunderstand it, you just don't understand Big Head mode. All right, we've already got our first flute activation because this seed is, well, we might, if we find another bow, it very well still might be a jet seed.
Yeah, there's no requirement to go get that bow. If we get another logical bow or even an illogical bow, that may prevent them from going to do Aga. It'd be interesting to see how long they put off Aga, knowing what's up there. Well, in this case, Laoria knows what's up there, but I don't believe we saw Fred check the lumberjack.
I don't think Fred has checked it yet. And hey, these people are very good. There's nobody. They could put it off a long time because it's gold bracket. They can do Master Sword Silverless Ganon until the cows come home.
And it may just take that long.
All right, library check here, and it's nothing. Oh, but we still get it anyway because yeah, that makes sense. So we don't have blue mail yet. We take the few seconds. That's like collecting 4 heart pieces, right?
Yeah. Early on, with only 4 hearts, I think that's a wise move, picking up the heart container.
Taking the blind play into race game, getting greedy here.
Yeah, it's another one of those topics. There's some people who just always blind do race game, and others who are willing to take the risk of checking it first.
All right, well, I'm waiting with bated breath, and it is more life. Sometimes you go to South Shore after this, and you really want to be equipped for the bush crabs. Although she could definitely go into the front of Escape very easily, or the back of Escape, since we have an activated flute and all the density checks in the world.
Yeah, and that's where blind doing the race game pays off, because the heart container is one that you might not really be motivated to go back and get if you were to check race game first. But since you were already there, most of the way there, doing it blind, you might as well pick up the heart and get the extra bit of safety.
All right, Fred going through his own stack of Rico. Gonna find all them goodies. And let's see what we find in the dam. Laoria's decided to go South Shore. Oh, not getting close to that Zora money, that's for sure.
Yeah, Laoria with a little bit of a lead here. We'll see if she ever has to go back and do the front of Escape. It's possible that she just goes back through. Although with the boots and a sword, she'll be able to make quicker work of that escape. But this is not the sort of lead that anyone would worry about this early.
Right. And it's hard to call it a lead depending on routing. Absolutely. Mini Moldorm Cave will be a cinch. You have a sword, and well, those Moldorms can only tease you. They can't really hurt you. Oh, but the floor can. Alright, let's see here. Clean up the mini Moldorm room and see what wonderful goodies our thief in the back has in store for us.
Seems to be a lot of thieves running around Hyrule these days.
Hey, when times get really dark, oh, Boon Pearl. When times get really dark, people resort to some bad things. Oh, look at that. Quality of life items. We got the boomerang, bottle, that other thing that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I think this is, as someone in chat alluded to, I think this is the point at which you start to feel nervous. This is too
Oh,
many things too
nervous
early.
indeed. As as has been pointed out, Laoria, forgetting that she has an activated flute, didn't fly to 8, fluted to 4 instead of 7. Yeah. But yeah, when anyone's in this, you got to be looking, especially if you use a map tracker, you got to be looking around at all the green you're just constantly opening up and having to ask, oh gosh, which one of these do I go to? They're all really good density checks, and I can get to every one of them. Another shield, so Laoria actually has a shield worth wanting and using. And is she gonna fake flipper? Oh wait, she doesn't have to fake flipper, but she's not gonna real flipper either. She's gonna go back into turning her bottle, and let's see what else.
Yeah, if you can quickly get that one-off check in the village checked off the list, then you might as well, and especially when it's a
Oh,
Master Sword. That is a nice upgrade.
yeah, that's comfortable for the rest of the seed. Yeah, our only big grim, scary thing that we're looking at right now is maybe having to climb that agate tower, which it
Yeah, so
definitely
we're
looks
really
like.
just like a couple items from Go Mode at this point, right?
Not until the 45-minute mark. Come on. All right, so she's gonna go around, check bonk rocks. We're probably gonna see her enter the back of escape after this then. Fred hitting that mini Moldorm cave, and it definitely looks like unless Laoria goes and does front of escape, she does have a lead for now. Well, I mean, there's plenty of routing diversions to go, so that's going to change back and forth. But for now, she's sitting pretty. Not that she knows it.
Yeah, and I think these runners are expecting the lamp at any moment
Oh,
with knowledge of the bow on Lumberjack, the Master Sword. I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was the end of my thought. I was just going to use more words to express it.
I was expecting actually a bit of a Houlihan play out of Laoria just to build up some money before having to go back to Zora later.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad play, and would have even been better before going to do the South Shore checks. After picking up that glove in Kakariko, to save and quit to Sanctuary, do the back of escape. Houlihan, you end up back at Link's house, and then you could do the same route.
Fred went to check. I missed what was on the ledge, on the desert ledge there. I was looking too much at Laoria's side, but nothing in Agnes Cave. All right. Well, I don't see anything on the tracker, so unless our tracker. Oh, we haven't introduced our trackers today. We've been bad casters. Our tracker and our restreamer. Our restreamer today is Oro. Everyone say hi to Oro, who stepped up and pinched in after a giant storm knocked out the internet of the original restreamer for this broadcast. That was going to be Ye Old Fart Gamer. And then on tracking for us today, we have Ezmar, who can't say hi because he's muted and gagged, but he is dutifully tracking everything these two pick up.
Yeah, and his first experience tracking, so try to be nice to him.
If he gets
Mistakes
it
happen.
wrong, be as savage as possible. All right, and Laoria is going into the front of escape, so we're going to see things even out a little bit here.
Yeah, and with the flute and the boots, they are really making quick work of the available Light World checks to them right now. So, we've got a couple checks up on the mountain with the old man and the Spectacle Rock Cave item. We've got Sahasrah's Closet and a few checks into Eastern, which they really don't want to have to do, knowing that the bow's on Lumberjack. They don't want to have to double dip there.
Yeah, at this point, I assume everyone is looking for not crystals, but just as much passage around Hyrule as possible, especially if they can find the second bow if it's somewhere, if they can find the hookshot, then they're much more likely to not have to go to Aga early on in the seed. Oh, we didn't mention Fred going all the way to Dark Cross here, and it looks like, yep, he got it open, and it was nothing, but he's got that peace of mind done. We'll see if Laoria does it from the front here coming up.
Yeah, it was a nice job navigating the dark room there.
I see some mention in the chat about how nice and kind both of these runners are. They're constantly talking and helping people out in the chat, in the Go Mode podcast Discord server. And I want you all to know to stop that right away. We are here for blood, and we want to see blood. One of these people is going home crying tonight, and we're going to enjoy the entire match to see who it's going to be.
That's right. And as a commentator of this match, I am honor bound to be completely neutral on the result. That said, Laoria beat me last week, so go Fred.
Oh, well, there's our Houlihan.
No way. I think I would prefer Laoria to win it all and therefore justify my loss. I think that works better. I officially changed my stance.
Yes. Do you want to be avenged, or do you want your loss to be justified?
I'm going to have to think about that one for a few more minutes. I'll get back to you. Fred picking up their Master Sword.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the Stackarico DLC on Sick Kid.
Yeah, Laoria is just gonna keep running up money. She's got a hunch that there's something on that Zora, and she's gonna go find it. Gonna collect that, and yep, there's Fred doing more dark rooms that we all got to do. That old man, he is getting rescued.
Yeah, you get the flippers early. That opens up all the flipper checks, but you don't want to do any of those until you have Zora money. So the Houlihan and getting up to 500 here really makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And in a second, we'll see the old man emerge from his cave to declare 6 more weeks of randomizer. And give us the other shield. Uh-oh, that means we're going to be seeing the lag shield for sure in this seed.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's not one most people want.
Not unless you gotta do laser bridge without magic. That's okay, he had a fairy.
We've got a gold sword bracket matchup. I expect that they know laser skips, especially with boots.
And I think that gold sword confidence sent Fred up there without kissing the old man first to refill his health, and unfortunately he's gonna be walking around with one less fairy.
Yeah, you almost would rather take the death there and eat the few seconds it would take to respawn at Mountain Cave. But we'll get our first look at the rest of the flipper checks, presumably, once Laoria goes and pays a visit to our resident homeless.
Tuesday Tip incoming. Oh wait, no, Tuesday Tip's the uncle. Who's the... nobody uses this hobo sprite in the community, do they?
Is the hobo sprite available as an option?
I mean, it should be now, right? Like now... Yeah. You can't be the hobo. Well, he's just got a quarter heart, just like Lake Hylia Island. More importantly, the lamp is in Sahasrala's closet. That's going to be really nice. You might want to dip into Eastern with that. We'll see if he does, especially with Flute. You can always come back to finish it later. You don't feel as bad.
Yeah, I'd be torn on that, knowing that the bow is on... Well, he doesn't know that the bow is on Lumberjack still, but if, with the knowledge that the bow is on Lumberjack, I would have to imagine that you'd go right to Aga, get that bow, and then go into Eastern.
Possibly. That might be what separates the Tempered Sword and Gold Sword from the Fighter Sword. I would say I'm here and just go in and get the first few checks if I can. Here we go on Waterfall Fairy. She doesn't have much. Alright, we'll start seeing what these checks are in Eastern Palace, and we're going to get to see everything that's over in the Zora area. Fred putting that off a little longer until he has Zora money in a little more natural way instead of having to farm for it. Nothing on the ledge.
Yeah, and going into Eastern will get him more of the way if he remembers to take the Rupee Room on his way out of Eastern. Then that'll get him most of the way towards Zora money.
Oh, that asking a speedrunner to remember where the Rupee Rooms are, that might be a tall order. And nothing but regret off of the big Zora himself.
Yeah, Zora really only has things often enough to keep you coming back. Otherwise, it's mostly scam.
He's definitely a Skinner box, that King's Aura. Alright, well, that guard's going to keep sneaking through Eastern Palace until he finds something, hopefully. Laoria's going to go up the mountain herself now, using that wonderful blue spark to make an easy route out of it. Alright, no big key yet, so we gotta zoom across.
The Ruby Room inside Eastern Palace, it is not often valuable,
Remembered.
and it's not often remembered, even more infrequently remembered, but it is valuable at times. There are some times where it makes sense to grab the rupees on your way to the boss as soon as you go through the first big key door. If you go right instead of left, you'll go down into a room with a couple of anti-fairies and about $100 in there. It can be useful in just this situation where you're just a little bit short of Zora money.
Laoria taking the exact same death to, well, not death, but revive to the Sky Cabbages of Doom. Really disappointing, but, well, now we're on an even footing. Right after she got that spin speed, too, right at the top of the staircase. She doesn't go for it again.
Yeah, it's not called Death Mountain for nothing.
Oh, Bacon Sword. We at least got something for our trouble. Alright, I expect to see Derf probably check the Lumberjack right now. Along with Bonk Rocks if he hasn't done Bonk Rocks. Oh no, he's going to Houlihan and he's going to go over to, he wants to check that Zora first.
Yep, and meanwhile, Laoria circling back to do what Fred just did. It looks like going into Eastern first. This is a very interesting decision, especially knowing where the bow is.
Yeah, you would think you would be checking Sahasrara, but it's quicker to flute to 5, and this is ultimately quicker, and you are expecting only about 2 checks before you get locked out. That Sahasrara closet is 3 checks out of 200 something. You really probably don't expect to find the bow on either, and you're just kind of hoping for some kind of progression that leads to bow.
Yeah, but knowing the bow's on Lumberjack really is pointing you more and more towards Aga. And the problem here is you're going to go all the way through Eastern Palace without a mirror, and then your choices are to take the very long walk back out or save and quit and have to get back to Sahasrara anyway. So I don't think going Eastern saves you any time in this instance.
And in fact, we might want to ask her about that at the end of the match if she was considering that. Fred finally getting to Ice Rod Cave, finding nothing. All right.
And I like this. Having not checked Ice Rod Cave, grab the water walk, makes these flipper checks just a slight bit faster.
Definitely nice to speed around on the top, like it. Well, I was gonna say a jet ski, but I think hydrofoil is what I'm going for. Then stick around with your hole in the water. All right, and what does this fairy have for us? Hey, we got another fairy. Look at that. Well, that's a good point coming from our chat. Is Laoria might be planning on just death warping at the end here, especially because the last couple rooms you go into have plenty of enemies to knock a couple of hearts off of you.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Fred,
I feel like there's something inherently wrong about a fairy giving you a trapped fairy in a bottle.
No, the fairy. When the fairies in the bottle leave, this is what they do. It's the circle of life. They're very happy about it. They're not dead at the end. You're not eating them. You're not stealing your life essence. You're not getting a huge disappointment like Fred just did from King's Aura. It's fine. The fairies are all okay with it.
I'll sleep better now. Thank you.
Yeah, no fairies were harmed in the making of this seed. All right, and let's see if Laoria does take that death warp. See if she's a little more clever than these 2 casters.
Which would explain why she is in the gold sword bracket and not us.
And yes, there's a question in the chat. Has Agina been checked? He has, and he has nothing. So Fred is going in. He's ready, taking the lead on the seed.
I think it's the right time to go to Aga's tower.
Yep, especially with that bacon sword. And yep, Laoria takes the death warp. She's gonna go check Sahasrara, and I think she's out of checks now. Ooh, Fred missing up that key dash.
Yep, both of these runners being very thorough to try to avoid Aga's tower, but in the end, Aga consumes all.
Speaking of consuming all, nobody has talked to our boy Sahasrara to ask where the green pendant is. I guess they're just waiting on their Dark World access. Oh, that's gotta feel bad to get that lamp right after you had to do Dark Rooms. Not that she can't do it, but it slows you down by about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was just going to say that having gone to Sahasrara so late, I'm not sure that getting the green pendant information gives you a whole lot, knowing that you're going to go to Aga, and that's going to be your Dark World access. You don't really have any decisions to make about how to route the Dark World to begin with, which is really the main reason to get that green pendant information. It does help a tiny bit to update your map tracker, but mostly you're getting that information so you know, do you want to start at Hype Cave or do you want to start at the village?
All right, and Laoria starts her climb up to go meet Aga 1 and duel with him. See who gets banished to the Shadow Realm. And Fred is, he's got a fairy in tow, so he's not hurting as much as it might look like. He's doing just fine, even though he's a little short on life. Can somebody in chat enlighten us? We're both pretty sure that they have not checked Lumberjack. Okay, yeah. Getting confirmation that Fred has not checked Lumberjack. Laoria obviously knows that the bow and arrows are there. I would expect him to check it pretty soon after he gets that. Well, maybe not, because he's still gonna have to find a mirror to have easy access back to the light world. He might want to stick with his dark world first.
The trouble for Fred is, without knowing that the bow is there, they're going to be very tempted to hop right into pod and check that, because the only thing available to them after finishing Aga is going to be the ledge, catfish, and pod. With no hammer, no hook shot, they can't get to the rest of the dark world.
Oh yeah, so, I wasn't thinking about the no hammer.
Yeah, pod being bow locked would save Fred some time and send them towards Lumberjack. But that's some, a potential time loss for Fred. A dip into both Eastern and Pod. In this case, Laoria also did the Eastern dip, but Pod certainly would be a time loss. Aga not playing nice today.
Nope, we're seeing a lot of blue balls. He just wants the seed to last longer. Aga got a little confused. He thought this was a GDQ seed and that we had to make it last as long as possible to stretch things out. And instead, our runners are just going to make quick work of him. Ooh, half magic on the pyramid ledge. It's not progression, but it feels good. Oh, getting bullied.
Yeah, so Laoria about a Aga fight behind.
Oh, Fred using his secret tech to do a tree pull on one of the statues there. Alright, and let's see where he goes. Oh, is he gonna go see Catfish? Go visit our friend the Catfish? We don't have a way to swim across unless he's gonna pull out. I don't think Cure Jump lets you go from east to west.
It does not. There is no landing there to go up on the other side.
Alright, and we got a first map check in the Dark World, and he marked it faster than I can.
Yeah, it looked like we had pendants on Mire and Turtle Rock, red crystals on Skullwoods and Thieves Town.
Ezmar's got us covered. Alright,
good game knowledge there, letting go of the fairy to pick up the red potion.
Yeah, because he's gonna potion glitch when he goes back to pod is what it looks like the plan is there. And boy, and you saw he picked up that extra money to help make that easier. That's some really good strats there for if you don't know that bow and arrow are on Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, unfortunately for Fred, that's just going to mean spending even more time in a pod that they don't need to.
Yeah, now let's see what Laoria does after she gets this half magic, where she goes. Oh, finally getting some much needed life on Fred's side there from the catfish, although it's not gonna help him with what he wants to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a catfish check and then a save and quit, although in this case just the save and quit.
All right, here's our first really big divergence probably.
Yeah, Shadow Man pointing out that you can do the camera unlock in pod with a fairy. It is significantly harder than with a potion.
It is a pain. It is definitely worth doing sometimes when you really suspect you're gonna skip logic and get something good. But boy, it is definitely easier to get some extra rupees, buy a potion, and do it with a potion. All right, well, we'll have to see where Laoria goes after she gets this well-deserved bow.
Yeah, not a whole lot of options. You can finish Eastern, you can go to pod, you can go to catfish. That's pretty much it with the current item loadout. Really looking for that one item, the hammer or the mitts, that'll break open the sea and give a lot more options.
Yep. Now let's see, she flutes to 5 just to go back and finish Eastern Palace right away. So going back for that grudge match, she's going to take out Armos and see what item he's got, take his crystal.
Yeah, and I was not paying enough attention to know whether Armos has an item, but I'm guessing based on the fact that Laoria is prioritizing this, that there is one more item on Armos, and they know they're going to have to do this eventually, and she's probably hoping this is the hammer or the mitts, and avoid having to do pod without the hammer.
Yeah, and she'll be able to fly back here. Yeah, as long as hammer is not in pod, she's going to be able to fly back and clear it out anyway without too much of a hassle. Speaking of pod, we're going to find out what's in it.
Yep, so pod is bow locked with the big key in that first check. That's not going to stop Fred, but if they thought about the logic in this, it might have saved them from going further. Knowing that pod is bow locked, then they can pretty reasonably assume that something is on Lumberjack because that's the only other available check.
I just got to compliment him on that very well placed death warp. That got him right back. If you don't have mirror, that's a really good way to get done there. I wonder, I'm going to have to ask him if he routed life out, if he was taking damage to make that a more easy to do thing.
Yep, and Fred expertly using the camera unlock glitch there. Using the potion while walking through the previous room allows you to move the mimics slightly off screen enough so that the game thinks they're dead and unlocks the door for you.
Yep, just using that potion while you're walking left confuses the spaghetti code of the game, and it just gives up and says, okay, you can do whatever you want with the camera, and it lets you walk those mimics right out of the camera's field of view, and the game thinks they're dead. Oh, Laoria having an okay Armos fight. Got a little sloppy there. Is going to have to clean it up.
With a single arrow to spare, Laoria does not get anything of note on Armos Knights, but does pick up her first crystal of the match.
Yeah. And Fred is going to keep on plugging away until he gets something. He's got that mirror, so we can teleport around even easier through the world. Gonna run to the back.
Yeah, the mirror's a nice pickup that will unlock Tower of Hera, make that accessible. Although, going out of logic now, they have the potential to dig themselves a hole and get further and further away from that bow.
Yeah, you would.
Hopefully, jmeasher is able to, point out that the lumberjack has to have an item of note, and that they're just doing this because they're already here.
Yeah, hopefully they realize, especially because they have the mirror now. I'm not actually afraid that he's going to put off lumberjack much farther because he can now get anywhere. And glove. This is starting to look like a galaxy brain play if he goes straight to lumberjack, because then he can fly right back over to Eastern Palace. He can he can flew back to 5 once he gets the hammer, and we know the hammer's not here unless it's on the left side here, and it's the most stacked pod you've ever seen.
Yeah, that really paying off, and really that is the progression here, right? As we can see, Laoria on the right being forced to go to pod. She's going to pick up the mitts. She's going to pick up that mirror, and her map is going to open up like Fred's just did.
Yeah,
she has
she's
the
making a great play.
Eastern under her belt as well.
In Soviet Russia, service is you deliver Kiki, and she's going into pod, and we have a really close match. All right, and Laoria obviously isn't as well timed to take a death warp. Oh, Fred saved and quit, and he's gonna, let's see where he goes. It looks like he's gonna spawn over in the sanctuary. There he goes.
Yep, and that really points towards lumberjack. The only reason you would do this as opposed to fluting from the top of Hyrule Castle is so you can go to lumberjack before the village.
Yep, and oh, he's going to. So he gave me a panic there. Fred,
just trying to create a little drama in the chat.
All right, Laoria does not need to do the potion glitch. She can just do this the vanilla way.
Yeah, although nearly out of arrows after fighting Armos Knights.
All right, and Fred probably feels really good getting that bow now, considering he made a great play over to pod. He can flute over to Eastern. He can go finish King Helmasaur whenever he wants. Well, let's see. What else is in logic now? We can make it to a lot of places. Oh no, we can't. Not until we get the hammer.
Yes, so Fred will have to go back to finish Eastern Palace, which Laoria has already done, but they're both going to have to double dip pod since the hammer's not available yet. So the pod dip didn't really cost Fred in this case because both runners are going to have to in order to get those mitts, and the hammer not being available yet.
Now, do you see? Oh, that's right. We got gloves, so we can now get into the Village of Outcasts. If he was so daring, he could have dipped into Skull Woods, but it looks like he's hoping to not go there until he has Fire Rod.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of items available in the village, going down towards Hype Cave, inside of Thieves Town.
All right. Does he go into Thieves Town first? No, he goes around and checks the rest of the Village of Outcast. We're going to assume he doesn't go as far as Dig Game. Maybe he might just skip Thieves Town for now if he's going around. He's got an invincibility item, so I guess if you're still looking for hammer, it makes sense to not walk straight in.
Yeah, just in case one of these, easy to check locations has the hammer, you'd feel awful silly to do all of Thieves Town, leave an item in the big chest, and then find the hammer immediately.
Oh, someone pointing out that Ice Palace is now in logic on Fred's side.
Yeah, and Laoria doing a nice hammer jump there, a few menu buffers, but gets the jump across the gap and is able to go through Dark Maze backward.
Any hammer yump that gets you to that chest is a good hammer yump. Alright, and going backwards, she's eventually gonna have to mirror out of here and figure out where she's gonna go next. See if she follows a similar route to Fred.
Yeah, with mitts and flute and mirror and a couple of medallions now, along with the the flippers. There's a lot of checks
Oh
and
yeah,
dungeons
definitely.
available to these runners.
Okay, the troll call would be progression in Mire, right? Like Fire Rod and Mire, or Samaria and Mire. Those are the troll options.
Samaria and Mire is always the worst troll
Yeah,
option.
who would put Samaria in Mire? Like that would be silly. Can't imagine. Like that definitely doesn't belong there.
Any progression in Mire just feels bad.
Yeah, at least on desert, those 2 checks can go pretty quickly. Mire, it feels like you're wandering around in there for a week. You should have brought a sandwich with you at least.
Sandwich would be nice right about now.
Hey, we did say near the beginning it looked like an aga seed, so you might want to grab a snack and a drink, or we were also hoping for a jet seed. It was the possibilities were wide open. We've collapsed the quantum wave function, and it's
That's right.
it's a long one.
That's the best thing about Rando is before you start the seed, it is simultaneously an agaped seed and a jet seed until you look at it.
And looking at it, pedestal is not out of the question. Obviously, it couldn't be. Well, actually, no, it might be out of the question. Yeah, because you would need fire rod and ice rod to clear it. So never mind. Yeah, Ped is definitely dead.
Yeah, no ice rod required
Wait,
as far as we know.
Can hookshot be on Ped? That is a question, because the game logic says that boots get you into Mire, correct? That's not game logic.
Yeah, that's
doesn't
right.
require
Yeah,
hookshot.
hookshot definitely could be on Ped.
Oh, there we go. It's still alive. Thank you, our theory crafters in chat for. I think Tech. Who was the first one to mention it? I think it might have been Technolink. He's the first one I saw. But yeah, the dream is still alive. It's not very likely. Don't get too excited. Don't get too hyped up over it. It could be right now. Nope, it's not in the front of Tower of Hera, which is where Laoria has decided to go. We have some major divergence here, and I'm super happy about that. Other than it means I have to look at 2 different sides of the screen right now.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the runners go in different directions, see new checks.
All right, and not going for the Hera pot.
Yeah, and Fred getting lucky here in Thieves Town. It seems like the hammer will not be required to get any items. The small key is indeed locked in the big chest. Blind cannot have the small key, so they dodged that small bullet.
Chat, tell us why she didn't do Hera pot there, because I don't quite understand. Unless maybe she doesn't have a setup she knows for it handy.
I think there's some runners who, once they get the big key...
Hookshot. You were just talking about hookshot, so my brain said she has hookshot. So I said, why doesn't she just hookshot up to the chest? No, she's going to have to bomb jump like a true speedrunner. And she's going to have to go all the way up to that toy rattlesnake to find our last item here. That's okay.
I'm just a little disappointed that you figured out the hookshot thing before I could set up my joke, but I'll let it go this time.
All right, don't worry. I'll forget it again, and you can tell the joke again.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm writing it down for next time.
All right, and we've got the bacon sword, so all we need is a spin and a slash. If Moldor cooperates. Oh, there we go.
Moldor never
Nice
cooperates, but Laoria recovering well and getting it very quickly.
She knows how to wrestle that rattler. All right, and that is crystal number... Is that crystal number 1 for her?
Crystal number 2. She did take down the Eastern Palace crystal, as you can see on the tracker.
Hey! It's his first. It's my first day. It's Ezmar's first day. It's everyone's first day.
Unfortunately for Laoria, there is an item in the basement. She's choosing to go down and take the medicine early. Just do the coffee break room.
Yeah,
you're already up here.
You're up on Mount Son of a Bitch. You don't want to come back. Let's see what's in King's Tomb. Just some money. The king was rich.
This checks out.
Buried with his riches.
Who says you can't take it with you?
And Laoria getting a nice coffee break, so she's probably AFK grabbing whatever water refill she needs and getting back in the saddle.
Yeah,
We
on
get
a
warp
Friday
over to
evening,
Meyer
maybe
area.
not coffee.
Meyer area. What was that? I didn't see what the access was there. Oh, our
Looked
tracker
like
did though.
ether.
And just bombs. All right, Laoria gets a heart. It's not good, but and a seed with this few hearts and no blue mail yet. It's probably a welcome relief. Doesn't have hammer, so she can't go anywhere else on Death Mountain.
No, so it's off to Meyer area.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I see most people just taking their first portal to, well, yeah. Everyone has a different way that they check that desert ledge at different points in time. Oh, and this is Laoria's first map check, actually. Okay.
Yeah, going to get the bad news that Meyer is simultaneously a pendant and accessible to her right now.
Yeah, Fred doesn't even dip it. Fred says, nope, we're going to go to, I'm guessing, Skull Woods first, because those two checks can be a lot quicker, and they're going to lead to a crystal if that elusive fire rod shows up, and if a hammer shows up, then we back out, and we go where we can use it.
I would be very surprised to see Laoria dip Meyer. In chatting after our match last week, the reason she won was because she, under no circumstances, wanted to go into Meyer until she absolutely was forced to.
Well, and that might play out well. It might turn out that we have to go dip pod, because there are at least a couple checks in logic there. Wouldn't that be a nice forced double dip? And we got powder. That's a nice quality of life item for Fred, so he can screw up his spooky when he goes into Pendant Meyer later.
Yeah, it does open up one magic bat check with the mitts and the mirror. Get the magic bat, although you have to leave your portal behind in that case.
No Samaria here, so he's got to drag the statue around the slow way. Meanwhile, fighting off these Gibdos, who, once again, he doesn't have Fire Rod for. Got to dodge the hand, accidentally activate the button. This is just, normal this room strats.
Yeah, this is one of those rooms that when it goes well, you feel great and it goes really quick, and then most of the time it's slow and terrible.
At least we have the mirror, so getting back out of there isn't reliant on being fast enough to catch the hand up. Laoria cleaning up the Village of Outcasts. We're going to see her go into Thieves Town here soon, I assume. Now, have we seen Hype Cave?
We have not seen
Dig
Game, Stumpy, or Hype.
Yeah, or anything along the Smith chain.
And that's what it looks like Fred is heading down to do right now.
Yeah. All right. How many digs can this be? I think it's 30.
Up to 30.
Yep. Let's count them. All right, so that was 7 or 8. Oh, no, sorry, that was Thieves Town opening. We're on Laoria's sound. All right, well, it was nothing.
I think it was 15. 14, TechnoLink says. I'm going to trust their count more than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, no spacecraft crash if we get that wrong, so we'll just take him at his word. All right, and let's see what Jeremiah has to give us as a reward for bringing him home. Because frogs can't lift heavy rocks, so he was kind of just stuck there.
Yeah, and a very short tour for him today. Not really worth the price of admission.
There's a discrepancy. We have to. Someone's gonna have to go back and look at the replay. Gonna have to count it out. Frogs don't wear gloves. Oh, that's okay. Oh, hook shot! Oh, boy, I wonder if Fred's feeling wonderful or terrible right now.
I think that probably feels pretty good. Smith chain wasn't required. It's something that a lot of people like to put off.
Especially when they don't have that hammer, yeah. Yeah, as it is pointed out in chat, well, I don't know, TechnoLink, you've been wrong before very recently, but yes, you are correct that Pet is now dead. We no longer have to worry about the pedestal. But we do have to check on Stumpy and K45 and turn in the purple chest. We've got Speedy Boots, so don't be surprised if he abandons that chest, runs to the uncle, and then runs back to Hype Cave. There's a book. Not that we need it anymore. Gets you into Desert Palace the other way that you don't want to go anyway. And that's a pendant Desert Palace that we might not ever have to see. Well, we're just looking for Samaria and 2 rods now.
Although that is convenient timing to get the book on the way down towards Purple Chest. It'll allow Fred to check that Bombos tablet right away. That's a check.
Does Fred have shovel? No, he does not. Oh, he does. Oh, sorry, we missed that on the tracker. Someone want to remind us where we picked up our shovel? Wait for chat to catch up. I have to know. Oh, and then he abandons his chest. He's gonna do the warp over to the purple chest guy. What do we call him? What does everyone call him?
I think that's Gary. That's Gary's
Yeah.
lunchbox, so we assume it's Gary who's unlocking it.
I mean, everyone's a thief here, so he might not be. He might not be Gary. Oh, and Hammer. Oh, yeah. If your name is Fred today, you feel really good. You're gonna run over to Hype Cave doing a happy dance. You might even just go full clear Swamp Palace in your joy and your glee.
Yeah, maybe even full clear Swamp Palace first. This may be the very rare seed where you can entirely skip Hype Cave and get through the seed just fine.
Let's see. My brain says the checks are so quick in Hype Cave, you check them just in case you end up closer to go mode. Especially if you get that Samaria in Hype Cave, you can do Diver Down a lot, make that dungeon a little quicker.
Yeah, speaking of being closer to go mode, just a single item. All we need is the Fire Rod. The Cane of Samaria would be a nice improvement, maybe required for Ganon's Tower depending on where the big key is, but as far as the crystals are concerned, Fire Rod is the only thing left that is absolutely required.
That's a great point. We probably won't be seeing Trinex today. He's taken a break off after his wonderful victory of mentoring last night.
Laoria making quick work of Blind, combination of Blind Script and Cane of Burnus strats. Picking up their 3rd crystal.
Yeah, I suppose this could still be kind of a jet seed if we don't have to start last locationing everything. It really depends on how soon we see that Fire Rod. Like you said, only if the big key is on the right side of GT do you actually need the Samaria cane.
Yeah, and after Dig Game will be the moment of truth for Laoria. If she decides to do Smith Chain as Fred did, then she's in good shape and we've got a very close race. If she decides not to, then she's got to really hope that Fire Rod is buried somewhere unpleasant, and Fred has trouble finding it.
Yeah, it was 15. All right, you're fired, TechnoLink.
I feel redeemed, relieved.
All right, and Fred did not hold on to that wall, and that water is going to fill extra slow. If you hold on to that wall below you, that water actually fills up faster. If you have a shield.
That is something that I recently learned, and I also recently learned that if you kill the red Stalfos in that room, the water fills slightly faster.
Oh.
It's not much of a time save, so you really only want to do it if that Stalfos is directly in your way, but it is a small time save.
What a smart play that could be to have someone do their first sub 2 ped seed. All right, and we are gonna see Laoria complete the Smith chain here, so she's gonna be hot on Fred's heels, even though she doesn't know it.
That's right. You just completed your first sub-2 ped seed. Is that right?
Yes, that was the joke.
And Laoria taking the purple chest bait and is going to be paid off handsomely for it.
Yep.
And meanwhile, Fred doing left side, going right at it.
I expect to see almost identical routing choices from Laoria. We don't have Samaria, so we have to do this the old-fashioned slow way. Wait, is he? Did we miss it? Oh, he already did pick up. Oh, he's taking an alternate. That's right. He even said before the match, we asked him about some of his tricks, and he says this is his setup. So he don't need no Samaria to do diver down.
No, although I am surprised to see him do left side directly, being one item from go mode. Usually the conventional wisdom is if you're one item away, you do the back first. That way, if you pick up the one item you need, you don't ever have to do the left side.
Does he have the big key though? Because if the big key's on the left, you always feel bad coming back. And
yeah, maybe that's enough to do it. He got it that time. You can get clipped into the rail and have a trouble jumping down. A quick tap left and then back up will fix things for you. But he made it through with a couple hearts to spare.
And he is gonna finish up checking that left side, hoping for that rod. Anything else is a disappointment. Again, we're at 54. This is still Schrodinger's seed. This could be an hour 20. This could be 2 hours.
And Fred and or jmeasher showing off their game knowledge even further with 3 hearts there at the bottom of that Swamp Palace room that I certainly didn't know about.
Me neither. All right, blue mail. Some comfort now.
And Laoria picking up their hammer. We'll see if they decide to jump into Hype Cave before Swamp Palace or go somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, I still expect to see Fred go straight to Hype Cave after this. And then maybe Ice Palace, because the only thing we don't have at this point is Samaria to make that icebreaker make it faster. These two obviously are going to...
there's an argument to be made for finishing Pod, although they've cleared pretty much all of Pod. I think you just got to bite the bullet and do Ice Palace without Samaria. There's a good chance that you won't ever see Samaria in this seed.
All right, so is there not a bomb diver down for the right side or the lower end? Is that what I'm gleaning here?
No, there is. There is. Maybe he, after failing it a couple of times on the left side dip, is just feeling like it'll be faster to go the vanilla way as opposed to trying the diver down and failing it a couple times.
Especially with only 2.5 hearts looking at the top of that screen there. This game is still being very stingy with life. He gets 2 hearts here, of course, but that he wasn't going to guarantee pulling it off in time to pick up those 2 hearts. Laoria goes through hype. Oh, Fire Rod! We're in go mode if key is not on the right. So what do we call that? Maybe mode? I missed what was in Hype Cave. Looking at the tracker, it doesn't look like anything super important was in there.
No, Hype Cave just having rupees and a piece of heart.
All right, well, Fred's not going to beat your 115 from last night, but he's certainly going to finish this up quick.
Yeah, this has been a very fast seed so far, and Laoria not far behind. If she decides to skip left side, we've got a very close race on our hands.
Oh, there we go. Sports Hefe wants us to know that the proper name for this is 17-20 seconds go mode. Because those 5 checks... he's not going to be able to check if he doesn't have Samaria by the time he gets up to GT.
Yeah, also known by the 77% go mode.
Hey, all right, chat. We're all newbies here. An hour is a fast go mode. don't let our recent races this week fool you. These runners are doing great. It's what you would expect from a gold bracket seed or gold bracket runners, but yeah, it's still something to behold.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is very quick, and Fred making quick work of Argus, picking up their next crystal. They still have to go back and clear Eastern Palace, which I forgot about until this moment. So, Laoria appears to be about a Swamp Palace behind, but Fred's going to have to circle back and fight Armos Knights. So we are about at a dead heat here.
All right, and given that we're not going to find anything in Hype Cave on Fred's side, expect to see an IPBJ. I hope all of you, when you boot up your ROM hack, that's one of your save states, is just get a couple of IPBJs in, because it's still relevant, and we're going to see it here. Unless, of course, Samaria is in the first check in Ice Palace.
Yep, Sports FA pointing out Fred also has to do Hera. That's a much faster check with boots, hookshot, bombs.
Oh, and he
you
could
can go
do the
in,
whole
you
right
Hera
side.
pot right up to the boss, and that's about 2 minutes.
And he can clear all of Death Mountain, which is something we haven't seen any of right now. So he might go for it, but also go mode. So maybe not. Maybe he just goes Ice Palace.
I don't think we see any of the Death Mountain checks. It's possible maybe you check Super Bunny Cave on your way up to GT since you don't have to go into TR.
Oh,
that's actually
maybe not. You might just put it all off until you see if you need it or not. You might go full left, or you might go Hope Room and full left, and then just come back if you need it.
Yeah, I think generally pick up what you can along the way. If you happen to see Samaria or Silvers or a Gold Sword, that's a nice bonus. But these runners aren't going to be going out of their way for anything. And Laoria, indeed, skipping left side here.
Yeah, now she might come back up for it. But she's going to find that fire rod.
I would be surprised to see left side. After picking up the fire rod, she knows she's in go mode. I don't think that we're going to see any left side checks for her.
Yeah, and there's a very good shot now at Laoria might be ahead because she is ahead by that. Let's see. Let's look at the crystals. Well, she's still got to. Okay, Fred has to finish off Eastern Palace. He's got to go through Hera. That's really all he's behind on crystals, so he might. Ooh, it's a tough call, isn't it?
Yeah, and Hera can be routed directly with Ganon's tower, right? So you go up to Ganon's tower, you mirror right in front, finish off Hera. It's about 2 to 3 minutes of time there. You go back through your portal and you're right in front for the crystal unlock. But it is one more thing that Laoria won't have to do. Although having to go to pod, again, he's really only losing out on the time to walk back to Armos Knights and the time to get up to Moldorm.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. Both these runners, really hoping that no Samaria, I would bet, because neither of them knows the other doesn't have it. So
yeah, and we did see a seed earlier in this tournament that the runners got all the way to Ganon's tower and found out that it was Samaria locked and ended up having to leave the tower and go do more overworld checks to find it. Let's hope for their sake that that's not the case here today.
Yeah, we're definitely all hoping for it not, except for the audience who wants to see the seed go on as long as possible. All right, we're gonna see Fred make quick work of this big goofy. What is a Helmosaur? I always thought of them as like pugs wearing helmets.
It's a dinosaur with the helmet, of course.
All right, well, Laoria is going into Ice Palace, and before she even cleans up her own trip to pod, first she's going to buy an upgrade. Or not. What does that do there, walking into that room and walking out? Did she decide that she didn't need more than 6 bombs to do IPBJ?
I think that just means that she forgot to go through the portal, was probably talking about something else, thinking she was walking into Ice Palace.
Probably
and instead
talking to
Dr.
Bobtastic? Yeah, no. Nobody's ever fallen through a floor because they were just holding a button while talking to their mentor. That never happens.
Never in the history of the world has that happened.
Chat asking if going into Ice Palace is a Dr. Bob call. I don't know, because I think I would be... That's a good question, because I think in this situation I would be going to pod just because I know I can clean it up. It's going to be easy, and it might have the item, but they might have counted and known that King Helmasaur doesn't have an item. I don't remember if he does. We just saw it over on Fred's side.
Yeah, if there's not an item on Helma, then the Ice Palace is just as good as going to Pod.
Perhaps better, because you could get Butter and you kill King Helmasaur 2 seconds faster.
Yeah, it makes more sense for Fred to go do this first with both Eastern and Pod. We know there's an item on the boss in Eastern. We know it's not going to be helpful, but Fred doesn't know that.
All right, and we had someone paying attention. Yes, Helma was an item, so that could have been a thing to consider. Oh, Laoria doing something, having trouble with these jellyfish. They're really trolling her. But she's gonna make it down there.
Yeah,
she's gonna make clean
jellyfishes
work.
and bombs not playing nice.
Yeah, she's gonna. Everybody knows the setup to this room. It's free until it's not. All right, and time for our first IPPJ. Get your guests in chat. How many tries is it gonna take? It's gonna take 1 try. She's gonna get this first try.
Yeah, I've
just got to line up your pixels twice. She knows how to look at that skirt that covers up the shadow a little bit. She knows how to line up her pixels. Oh, actually, that version of the sprite does not have the shadow covered at all. It's going to be a nice and easy lineup for her. There she goes. She's got it. Now all she's got to do is not accidentally fall.
Another thing that has never happened in the history.
Yeah, nobody ever falls after getting it. Okay, let's see. Oh, Fred also having a well, no, not a very clean Armos fight either. So
yeah, almost a nice recovery there, and then maybe panicked, moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Now having to clean up his mess. In the
Run
end,
out of
getting
arrows. There. Yep, and boy, maybe they'll get a chance to redeem themselves in GT. Who knows? When the Armos franchise jumps the shark and decides to have an ice skating show.
Yeah, these dungeon cleanup routings for our 2 runners really making it hard to get a gauge on what the time difference is here.
Oh wait, she doesn't have the big key yet, so I was gonna say very bold to just go and come back later, but no, it looks like she's gonna search around. She's looking for something. Which right now that's something. Oh, right now that something is a little bit of safety fairies, because both players have the bug catching net, and I believe she still has an empty bottle. Could I be wrong about that?
Refilling health and not catching a fairy. No, she did go to pick up a blue goo before coming to Ice Palace. She fluted to the witch's hut.
Menuing over to the classic mistake we all make, menuing to Bombos before Hammer. But yeah, half magic, Bombo's Fire Rod. Sometimes you YOLO this, but that's only if you've got a fairy in the bottle. I don't know if she has a fairy in the bottle or what she's got in there. Oh, it's a blue goo, but you don't always want to use up your blue goo. Sometimes it's quicker to take that fairy, knowing that you have that option to use that blue goo on, on the GT climb, which is not super far away at this point. And if she never has to flute back to the witch's hut, all the better.
Yeah, that's right. The seed being a little stingy with bottles as well. I think they should be comfortable with.
All right. Well, now she's gonna feel silly. That's gonna make you feel silly for going back for that fairy and Samaria in one of the trolliest locations you could find it. But at least they didn't have to double dip before they found Hammer. Yeah, those cold stare puffs didn't stand a chance. Laoria, get some more confidence. You did not need to pick up a fairy there. But you know how it goes when you don't pick up the fairy, your nerves are shot and you perform worse, and then you do need to use the potion.
Yeah, this game does have a way of humbling you. Just when you thought you've figured things out and you've mastered a certain fight, it'll humble you real quick.
And as Chad is pointing out, we are in go mode. Don't let the lack of go mode button on the tracker down there fool you. We are full speed ahead. This train
with that
not
King of Samaria, now we are no longer even in partial go mode. All of Ganon's Tower is available. They can definitely finish the game with the equipment that they currently have.
Yeah, expect to see Laoria might not even stop for chests in the room she's in. She might be doing stuff like skipping stuff up the climb, because She is very confident in her ability to do Silverless Ganon, as is Fred. So we might see very few checks for the rest of this seed.
Yeah, Fred having a little bit more of a safety net with the powder and the blue mail, and chat rightly pointing out that those are things that Laoria is very unlikely to get at this point. So it'll be a little bit tougher of a climb for her, but I think that she's confident with it.
All right, doing the smart Samaria version of that so that she doesn't have to menu again in this room. Decides to hit the switch so that she's going to get poked by that square unless she's very nimble. And picking up a few hearts because, we need the safety. Also a great thing to pick up if you want to sword beam the switch in the next room after the second mimic room here.
Yeah, saving another mirror if you can keep your sword beams, which unfortunately she doesn't.
Nope. Yeah, it also saves that menu in the next room here where you have to switch back and forth between the hammer and a ranged weapon. Fred is just demolishing those puffs over there. Doing just as well as Laoria did. And boy, this sure is a race.
Yeah, no mercy for eyeballs.
They both got to go and finish the moth, which if I recall, Laoria never went to the moth's domain. Not that she's going to have to look around much. She can go straight back to our flying friend. And yeah, I would expect we're going to see Fred fly over to Skull Woods, and then he's just going to climb up and go into the Dark World, and mirror over to Hera, beat Hera, and go into GT. And did he go to 3 first? He does go to 3. Oh yeah, that is a good point. Our tracker, Ezmar, points out we have not seen a single trip over to the east side of Death Mountain, Dark World or Light.
After the way Death Mountain treated these runners early, I really don't blame them.
Those cabbages made them twice shy for sure.
If they could get to Ganon's Tower without going up Death Mountain, I think they would.
Alright, and Laoria cleans up Pod. All she's got left is Skull Woods, and then she's going into GT herself. Ooh, this might be a tough one to figure out which side the seed goes on, huh? Or the big key guessing game goes on.
It's going to be close for sure. I give Laoria a slight edge not having to finish Hera. I think Fred, we can time it here. Fred entering the back of Skull Woods at about 1:10:10. We'll see how long it takes Laoria to get there. Finally, the route's converging on Skull Woods, so we'll be able to make a direct measurement of how they fare in regards to each other, or somewhat direct.
And it's past the hour. We should say who you're hearing on stream and who you're watching on stream. I'm JohntheBranch, one of the runners in this tournament. McMonkey is the other voice you're hearing. He's running in this tournament in a little bit higher of a bracket. One below these guys here. You're watching a Gold Sword bracket match. That's the highest bracket of the Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tournament this spring. Between fredAKAderf and Laoria. And coaching them, their mentors are respectively jmeasher and DoctorBobtastic.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a number 3 versus number 14 seed. So despite the disparity in the seeds, we've got a very close race, which I think just speaks towards the overall skill level of the racers in this tournament, especially in the Gold Sword bracket. We've had a lot of tight matchups, a lot of tight tiebreakers for bracket seeding, getting into brackets. Overall, just a really great tournament this year.
All right. Uncle Lumaga explaining in the chat, the big key guessing game opens up as soon as the 7th crystal is collected, which is happening... Oh, no, he's still got to do Hera, so it's going to be as soon as Laoria catches the crystal. And it actually... But it goes by whoever enters GT first. Speaking of Lumaga and the people that help making this tournament run, Oro is restreaming, picked up in a pinch, picked up this race, so we could all watch it today. And Ezmar jumped in on tracking so that we could all see who's got what items.
Yeah, thank you to both of them. It's been very smooth so far, which is a relief for the restreams, I'm sure. And based on when Laoria entered the back of Skull Woods here, looking like she's got a little bit of a lead on Fred. Fred having to hop into Hera again. That's going to be probably 2 or 3 minutes if they can nail Harapot first try, and Laoria entering Skull Woods about a minute and a half behind. So it seems like we've got about a minute or two of lead on
All right,
Laoria's
get
side.
ready. Get ready. It's gonna be a flood of numbers as soon as this opens up. Have your number ready to hit enter on, because someone else is gonna guess it before you. Multiple people can guess the same number, but the first person to guess it gets the most points. Oh, and Ezmar, you beat me. Ah, feels so bad. All right. Laoria is making the climb up now. She's going to Death Mountain. We see Fred. Let's see if he opens up the chest over here. Obviously, if he dropped down here, he's looking. He's
Yeah, no
hoping either.
reason not to check these, and you get your
Oh!
silver arrows. Makes
Let's hope
perfect
Laoria
sense.
checks them, because that's a big save going up GT and fighting Ganon.
Yeah, muscle memory, could send you to the Turtle Rock portal. In this case, that would really cost Laoria.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna see a second divergence here now. We still got to go through Hera for Fred. So Laoria is still ahead, especially if she goes up that direction. Oh, she goes up the habit way. Let's see if she drops back down or if she just goes right past it. That's coming up in the interview.
Yeah, they're basically free checks. Very unlikely to have anything of note, but this showing exactly why you would do those kind of checks. There's not really any downside. Having not opened this Turtle Rock portal, it doesn't even really save you much time going this route versus Super Bunny Cave. So it made perfect sense for Fred to check those.
Yep, but Laoria and DoctorBobtastic, they're not watching this. They're playing this, and they have 1,000 decisions to make every second, and sometimes you forget about some of the obvious ones.
Yeah, it's very easy to make those calls watching with hindsight and without the pressure of a tournament, on
And
your
20
way to
people in
Ganon's
chat.
Tower.
20 people in chat think tanking the seed with you. Yeah.
Oh, and Fred getting bounced by Moldorm.
All right. Well, the race is going to be closed here in a second, and we're going to see what number Laoria picks up the crystal on. So now the big difference between them is the time they're entering GT and the fact that Fred is going to have silvers on Ganon. Laoria might also be checking a couple, convenience checks on her way because she might be looking for silvers or that butter sword. Finds a key in Hope Room, 2 keys in Hope Room. Still mirrors out though, goes left. Oh, bonking off that door, or that door frame. And another key, Bob dies. Always feels good to start GT with a bunch of keys, so as soon as you pick up that mirror, you can likely just, you pick up that big key, you can just mirror straight to the back and start the climb.
That's right. Coming up on checks 4 through 7 here in Rando Room. Or, not Rando Room. This one is Dark Magician Room? What is the name of this room?
I don't know the name of this room either. There's our ice rod. Someone in chat will tell us. And mirroring out of here to go right now.
This is a modified Dark Magician route. And meanwhile, Fred going, right over to the left side.
Stalfos room, we have been told that it is. Or it can also be Dark Magician room. Okay.
Is that one of those ironic names, Stalfos rooms?
Well, because there are 3 Stalfos in there, and they're the biggest pain in the room. It's not the fireballs getting shot at you. Laoria doesn't have to pick up that full magic refill in the pot, thanks to having all the magic in the world because of half magic and just being conservative. Dodges that hand, Gonna flame these Gibdos. Oh, only flames one of the Gibdos. Just opts for knocking them back with the Samaria block dismisses. Let's see how that works out. Not well this time.
No, those Gibdos can be a real pain.
Thank you, Ezmar. This is a Jet Seed. We're gonna have finish times in the low 130s here at worst, and
there's the key in Compass Room. Check number 9, I think, if my counting is correct.
Ezmar will confirm that for us. All right, and Fred is going right side first all the way, so he's going to be even closer behind than he was before.
Yeah, picking up a lot of time with that Dark Magician route.
A real nail biter. Laoria not going with the P-Train stats, or strats. Probably a little nervous. Got plenty of arrows, though. She does. Fred doesn't, but he's got those magic fast arrows that make things die quicker.
Yeah, and that's going to help him to make up even more time in this gauntlet coming up.
Oh, Laoria opting to use a red potion here. Doesn't want to get caught off guard. She takes one hit. Oh, she doesn't even wait to take a hit to use it up. She's just going to go for it. See if she can dash back here without taking a hit. Oh, gets hit by the green Igor, and it's all downhill from there. Well, our red potion is justified.
Sports Hefe for winning the big key guessing game. And meanwhile, Fred with only a single arrow left for the gauntlet, so those silvers maybe not going to be quite so useful in the gauntlet as we were saying.
No, but they do have ether, so they can take out Stoffels pretty easily. They have hookshot to stun anyone they need to stun. They're well equipped, especially Fred with the blue mail. He's going to be just fine. They both have boots, so they can both dip into this this fairy room here if they need to.
Yeah, and Fred having the powder, Fred, he's able to skip that safety room with a little bit more confidence, having a blue goo and powder to refill his bottle up top.
And doesn't just take a theoretical lead anymore, but has the lead. Ooh, those sword beams really trolling Laoria. Opting to use Fire Rod to get those quick, easy hits, both of them.
Yeah, if you're going to use that blue goo soon, then there's no reason to be shy about using up your magic.
Sword Beam's still giving Laoria a hard time. Sometimes you just got to take a hit. Ooh, nice charge across the room. Ooh, this is neck and neck. Once again, though, Fred has those silvers, so Laoria does have a deficit to work through.
Yeah, at this point, would really need some mistakes from Fred.
Yeah. Yeah, the skill level you see behind these two, it's going to be more than just coming down to execution. Fred's going to have to make some kind of mistake. Both of them clearing up Landmo 2, basically frame for frame. Both picking up the exact same magic pot. You don't need to do that, but I guess they're hoping to not pick up the one in the laser room coming up here.
Yeah, this is great to see, just how close these guys are.
All right, see if they both nail this on the first cycle. They both nail it on the first cycle. Oh, and Fred, seeing that full magic pot drop, just says, "I'm gonna grab this here. I'm not gonna have to fill up anywhere else." But
yeah, very convenient drop there.
Has been conservative enough. I don't think she's gonna have to pick it up. Well, no, she's gonna have to if she's fire rodding everything. Ooh, takes a fall, but should be fast enough to not have to worry about it because she was moving through the room so fast. Let's see if she has to. Nope, she does not have to reload it. Fred makes it through too. He's got full magic, so he's gonna pull ahead again.
Yeah, and with Fred already having picked up silver arrows, unlikely to see him check anything else, whereas Laoria might just open these 4 chests here, hoping for something to help. And the cape will be, somewhat helpful, but not nearly as much as silvers.
Oh, I think at this skill level, that cape's not gonna see use at all. Not for the rest of the seed.
It can be quite useful on Ganon for a second phase, helping you to get a faster second phase.
Oh, that is a good point, especially with those with that tempered, and I believe she does have a blue bottle stored up still.
She doesn't. Oh, did she pick one up? She just picked up a bottle. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't remember what's in it for sure, but I think she might have a blue goo.
She certainly has a fairy that she
Oh.
captured in the safety room.
She certainly got trolled by Moldworm and is now definitely behind. Not that anyone knows it, but everyone watching.
Yeah, and that's, when you're at the top of Ganon's tower, nobody has marked done yet on race time.
Oh yeah,
that feels real bad.
If either of these two have a heart rate below 120 right now, I would be shocked. This is again, whoever wins this goes on, and whoever doesn't win this goes and practices in skirmish races with everyone else and casts and restreams and does all the other wonderful things that a lot of the runners in this tournament are doing to not just participate as runners, but volunteer and help make the tournament work. All right, Fred having an excellent aga too. Holy cow! I blinked and I missed it. Let's see if Laoria does just as well. Ooh, nice double. Another excellent double. Oh, just gonna have to go one more cycle. Fred dropping into Ganon here. He's got his race time room tab open, and he's ready to dot done any second here as soon as he can get through. So we are at the point where the only thing between Fred and a victory is a fall on Ganon here, which I'm sure is the thing that everyone is rooting to make the race even closer.
Yeah, no matter what happens here, these are two excellent times entering Ganon. This was a very well run race from both runners.
Yeah, once again, this was an Agassi that was not the most straightforward, and they both made mincemeat of it with the help of two very excellent mentors.
Well, Fred playing kind of fast and loose with those fire bats there, with only a heart and a half left.
Ooh, Mocha Jones getting in the spirits of the blood sport here. We've got one fairy,
he's got
though.
the fairy.
Yeah, he's still ahead. Laoria's going through her early spins.
Yeah, very nice placement for phase 2 here. Will allow her to get a one cycle phase 2. Oh, opting not to use the cape to get the one cycle.
She takes the fall. I believe she has a fairy, though. I think yeah, okay. So they both have fairies. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a blow when Fred finishes here in a second. I don't expect him taking a fall. These two are extremely good runners, and you don't expect to see them do poorly here at all. This is academic at this point. Just get your torch glitch and get a few swipes and 4 arrows in, and you're done.
Stranger things have happened, but yeah, let's hope for a clean Ganon fight. Nobody wants the match decided on a Ganon fall.
Oh, I think you're misunderestimating the viewers of this race.
Yeah, he did come very close to falling there.
All right, one more hit.
Playing with some fire bats, dancing pretty close to Ganon here.
Yeah.
Playing with fire a little bit.
Down to the wire. Gets the last hit. All right, he's just got to make it across a 3-tile wide bridge, and it looks like Fred, aka Derf, is going to move on to the next round of standard week 2 brackets. And
finishing with an official race time GG time of 1:25:56. Good job to Fred. Great job to Laoria. A really close race with very high execution.
All right, and do we know if either of these two want to... We're probably going to wait for Laoria to finish before we bring them both into interview, since she's so close.
Yeah, I think that would be wise here with Laoria finishing up the Silverless fight.
Yeah, and let's see if see who consents to an interview regardless. Oh, a good point. Both runners finishing sub 130 handily. This is a PB for Laoria. We'll find out from Fred if this is a PB for him. Let's see. Okay, see Fred in the green room. Obviously, runners might need a few minutes. That was a quick seed, but sometimes you still need 3 to 5 minutes before you come into the interview, just to settle down and.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, and I believe we are joined now by Laoria. We've got jmeasher, we've got DoctorBobtastic, and we've got Fred. GG's, guys, a very, very well-run race from all involved.
GG,
Yeah.
Fred.
So to
That-
just save the suspense, this all came down to Fred taking Super Bunny Cave up to Ganon's Tower and picking up silver arrows there.
Oh, we were
It was
thinking that.
frame for frame
Oh,
going
man.
through Ganon's Tower, and the silver fight is what made the difference here.
Oh, so you were doing silverless spins?
Yeah, I did.
That was my plan too. But yeah, I got to.
I guess
those
going
silvers.
through Super
Wow.
Bunny Cave would have been if you're wanting to check some additional things along the way, I guess that's not an unreasonable play.
Well, our whole thought process there was if you are going up to GT and you haven't already opened up that.
Oh, music's on Oro.
I think it,
Hey, just bear with us for a second. We're getting, I think, our playlist or some game audio playing over the top, or our restreamer. I'm sure we'll take care of this in a moment here.
Oh, sounds like it's dying down. Oh, maybe not.
on our end, we might have to.
I muted
or
oral
turn it down.
restream in the voice chat. That seemed to help. I muted oral restream.
All right. People in chat, can you hear us just fine?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, yeah. As I was saying, our thought process going up to GT was that since we hadn't already opened the Turtle Rock portal, that it would be faster for us to go through Super Bunny.
I have always been told that it is faster to go through Paradox Cave, period, even if you haven't opened Turtle Rock Portal, as long as you don't get dead rocked. That being said,
Interesting.
that being said,
I don't know the exact timing.
in that scenario where you're still looking for stuff, or you're looking for potential good stuff, I agree with it. Now that I think about it.
And
I
don't
do
get me
have-
wrong, it's super lucky.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very unlikely to pay off. It did in this case, which is, it's too bad. It was still a very close race. Nobody can be unhappy with a sub 130. I think both runners can walk out of this with their heads held high. It was a very well run race.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm the mentor for this one. Reasonably certain that both of these times are faster than my fastest time.
Yeah, PBs all around. This is the week for those.
Yeah, this is my best in this tournament. I do want to shout out my mentor jmeasher. At one point when we got Fire Rod, or when we were looking for Fire Rod, he said, we're not actually in go mode yet. So we did think the possibility of that red cane opening up right side of GT. So I was doing a little bit of checks before we ended up getting that as well.
Yeah, we did similar things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We grabbed a couple of things along the way in Ice Palace, and then it just happened to be on Cold, so we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was just something, proof that this mentor tournament is great to get some more experienced people on your side. Is that I honestly wouldn't have thought of that. Would have lucked out with it being on one of the bosses, but it was great to have that information and be excited when it did show up.
yeah, that was one of the questions we had was Laoria skipping left side of swamp, being just a fire rod away from probable go mode, and you choosing to do left side of swamp with just that one item remaining. Was that part of the thought process there, that you might potentially need some Aria as well, so you might as well keep checking things?
The thoughts we had was, if you skip it and come back, that's a more time investment for those two checks than doing it now, which I think everybody just kind of goes through that in their head every time they're racing. And it's just a matter of what do you value, because we had a lot of stuff open, and those 2 items that we were looking for could be anywhere, and I just kind of went with my gut. So I ended up with some blue mail, which was nice to have just throughout the rest of the race.
Speaking of gut plays, you put off Lumberjack for a long time on what it was, a suspected Agaseed. What were you thinking you were going to find when you finally went back there and checked it?
We did think Bo could be there.
We thought Bo would be the funny option.
Yeah. Maybe the hammer. So obviously it had progression, even though because we did the potion glitch and got some stuff out of pod. We knew
worked
it was
out great.
Something. Yeah.
Now I got a compliment. You did that death warp in pod where you just were down to half a heart or heart. So you, instead of walking back up to the front when you got the first, picked up the first skull, hit the switch, and opened the chest. Was that routed? Did you plan that in?
I knew I was super low on health, so it was the plan. I don't know if I planned that 2 or 3 screens before, but definitely when I was in the basement, it's like, I'm gonna die right here, just for the refill.
Now, Laoria, you did a Houlihan, but you did it after you'd already gone once to the back of escape. Were you thinking about doing it before, or was that a desperation when you were running out of checks and hoping it wasn't an Agaseed?
I don't know if I'd use the word desperation, but it was one of those things where if we were going to do the water checks, we wanted to have enough money for Zora. And so I had actually never done Houlihan through Back of Escape before. The only place I'd done it is through Useless Fairy. And so Bob was like, hey, so have you ever done this? I'm like, no, but I'd be willing to try it. And if I fail it, then we'll just go and hope for money along the way. And so it was just let's give it a go, and it worked out.
Yeah, both of you finished the seed in really great time. You both routed incredibly. Oh, I wanted to go back to Fred because Oro brought up in chat like a really good play you did, or maybe a really good question to ask about a play you did. You went into the shop that is in the Dark World version of the Witch's Hut and bought a potion. That potion was to do the potion glitch in pod, right? And why did you decide that over the fairy potion glitch?
Yeah, we did buy that, knowing that we would probably be potion glitching. I don't know that there is I don't know about the fairy potion glitch, so
there is.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to pull off because it's a lot more stringent timing.
Okay, yes. So I guess not having practiced it.
Basically, you just have to die and be knocked left as you're dying.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah, I think Oro asking, about the tree pull to pick up extra rupees to afford red versus buying a green potion, if that made a difference.
Oh yeah, I knew I had like 150 or something, and I would need to get at least one tree pull to get, because I knew the tree pull had 80 rupees. And that shop only has red, I believe, and I think it has bombs and arrows or something. So the green wasn't available because that's the Dark World potion, and we were already going up and checking catfish. I guess, to save money, could have mirrored, we didn't have the mirror, so I had to
didn't have the
restart.
mirror, yeah.
So
yeah, Oro pointed that out on himself, but I wanted to hear you say it anyway.
Whose amazing game knowledge was that, by the way? That there was a potion in that shop, and that most people don't know that
honestly,
area.
I watched one of the Mentor races earlier this week, and somebody did it, and the commentators pointed out. Honestly, it might have been the one I commentated. I'm not actually really sure, but I said.
I gotta give the credit 100% to Fred, because honestly, I was not thinking about that at all. He's the one that came up with the plan for the tree pulls and the potion. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, somebody in chat while we were going through Ganon's Tower mentioned that a silver arrows save about 40 seconds over a Ganon with good silverless execution, and our final times 125 flat in game and 125.39 right on the nose, pretty much 40 seconds. I think that speaks well to Laoria's silverless execution and just how close this game was. Unfortunately, it came down to a single check like that, but just dead even.
Wow, I'll have to rewatch it. GG, Laoria.
Yeah, same to you, Fred. I won't lie. I'm a little bit salty only because it was so close, and it's like one check made the difference. But like, I'm just happy that one, I've hit a sub 130. I've never hit a sub 130, and that feels incredible. Two, I've learned an incredible amount from Dr. Bob this entire tournament, and just from all the other racers just watching. And three, like, I know that going forward, like, I can only keep, getting better. So
I have one last question for Laoria and Dr. Bob, which was when you went to Eastern Palace the first time. I can't remember if it was the first time. It was the first time. You went into on the right
we
side.
went backwards, right?
Yeah. You went backwards without having the mirror to come back to the front.
Right.
Was that just an oopsie, or was there a galaxy brain play?
The intention was there. The idea was, we're like, if we're gonna have to do the Eastern Sahasrara checks, and I was thinking we're just gonna have to do all of them. I was just like, well, we might as well go this way, and that way we could theoretically clear them slightly more efficiently, because we don't have to go around and do a bunch of junk to get up to Eastern. If we had gone to Sahasrara first, we would have not gone to Eastern. So
yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question. Had you gotten the lamp, skipped that dip into
we would
Eastern.
have bailed there, absolutely.
Very interesting.
Definitely been.
Yeah, knowing that
we
the bow is
saw
on.
The bow, we're going to get that bow.
Yeah, that was definitely a potential inflection point, and really the mitts and flippers in the bow locked pod, and Fred being able to potion glitch their way back there made up for that, right? So Fred not knowing where the bow was, deciding to dip into pod without it. I think those mitts saved that play.
There
for
might
them.
be some potential problems locating that bow later for our opponent, but it wasn't that big of a problem, apparently.
Yeah, it was kind of fortunate we got pretty much hard stuck at that point. So, or more to the point, once we found that big key in the first chest, we knew that something had to be on Lumberjack, because that was our only other check. Everything else was...
Yeah, good on you for ruling out the other things, because a lot of people might have just been like, oh, well, I've got the mitts, let's just go check a bunch of this stuff.
Right.
I mean, you could have theoretically gotten the other bow.
Yeah, that was theorized in chat that, sequence breaking pod could lead down a black hole of out of logic checks, especially if it's something like mitts. That ended up not being the case. Again, speaking to both Fred and jmeasher's game knowledge.
Yeah, we kept. At least I had written down, bow locks, these items, and as soon as we got that big key, I was a little bit shook, but jmeasher said, just stay the course, go through this dungeon. We had our plan with the potion and all that. So thank you, jmeasher, for keeping me true to the plan. But yeah, as soon as we got the bow, we were like, well, that's all in logic now, just done in an incorrect way. And the world is again.
And this also goes to, like, we had the opportunity to go to Aga pretty early. Like, we could have staved off a few other checks, and by doing all the stuff we did before Aga, it actually made it impossible for us not to notice that, oh yeah, our progression has to be on Lumberjack. Whereas if we had gone to Aga a little bit earlier, it might have been a little bit dicier. We would have still had to keep that stuff in mind about what was in logic when, but it made it really easy at that point where we're like, okay, like there's literally nothing else in logic at this point other than Lumberjack.
Yeah, for sure. It certainly funneled the logic for you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Laoria. I think what you said about the tournament and your thinking coming out of it, I think that speaks for all of the runners in this tournament. I think you said it very well. This tournament has been excellent start to finish. All of the runners have improved significantly, and would like to thank our admins, our mods on the Discord channel, on the Twitch channel here for hosting this tournament again, and wish you, Laoria, best of luck as you continue on outside of the tournament, and thank you for putting on such a great race for us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's been really, really fun. And while I'm bummed that like my tournament time is done, like one of my big goals was to get good enough to hopefully make the gold bracket. And I not only made it, but I made it with the best seed number ever, aka 14, aka Bob's chest. So it felt bummed that I lost out to Bob's torch.
We'll see you in future tournaments. We're all sure, and we'll see you tearing up the ladder.
Oh, for sure. And just for my buddies, please clap.
Yeah,
All right.
we're all clapping you out of here. Dr. Bob, jmeasher, Laoria, and the other one, the one that won today, Fred. Anything anyone wants to share before we give the 5 minutes of thank yous at the end?
Just thank you, and thanks for watching, and GG again, Laoria. I'm sure we'll run across each other soon.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm going to kick your butt next time.
I look forward to it.
Thanks to the Restreamers and the comms, John McMonkey for comming, Oro for restreaming, and Ezmar for tracking. I know that there was lots of up in the air earlier today, but I appreciate everybody stepping in and being awesome.
Thanks for putting on a great race, and thanks for calling out most of our thank yous at the end.
Yeah, not leaving us with a whole lot of work left to do here, so I think we can wrap things up.
We gotta go. They're kicking us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you fill time while I quickly look at the schedule to see when our next restream is.
Oh yeah, stick around. I think, do we have one coming up at 9 p.m. EDT, or is it later tonight? That's what you're checking.
Looks like we've got one tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Matchup between Floyd and Gray Corvid, who I think is in the chat here. Or they were. Yeah, the schedule says 11 p.m. Eastern. Gold, another a gold bracket.
Yeah, 11 EDT. So yeah, in about, let's see, I can do math. That's just 2 hours from now. So go take a break, and if you want to watch another incredible gold match, it's coming up pretty soon. We got Jerry, that's the team captain, Dudsia, and then Mocha Jones and DJ Darkwing calming, and Adalor is tracking that one.
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you again in 2 hours.